Okay, we're ready. All right, welcome guys. So I guess first off, how does it feel to be playing for a state championship?
Feels
Pretty
great.
good.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to elaborate?
I'll elaborate. I graduated from here in 2012, and I went through the years where it was really tough. You know, you got made fun of because you didn't make the playoffs and you didn't win a lot of games. And so to be where we are now, it's exciting because all along, I've always known that we've had the kids to go win one, and these guys have proven the point.
Nice. So what did it take to get to this point of the season? What have you gone through? What are certain things you've been working on to get to this point to play for a state championship?
I can answer this one now. There was a group of us that started going to weights right after football season ended, like right in November. We've been going to weights until the next season started and everything, and that was a big part of like why I feel like it was a big culture change, because we all it got everybody else starting to come to weights and everything, and just being able to grind in the off season and putting in a bunch of work is what changed.
And it was kind of a mentality thing. I remember a lot of these mornings we were asking these guys to do things like stay behind the line, make sure we have good energy in the gym. I remember the first day, Coach McGriff asked these guys to make sure that the energy in the weight room was up. And he said, don't feel afraid to shut down the music. If you need to shut down the music and get these guys pumped up. And I remember Dustin's not one to step out of his comfort zone, but he shut the music right down and he called everyone out. And it took a lot of days like that, knowing that you have to step out of your comfort zone to get something done. A lot of these guys, Brock, McCade, they've stepped out of their comfort zone to try and lead the team, and that's why we are where we're at right now.
What would you say, because like this season has definitely, it's had its ups and downs, but I think most of it's been on the upside. What would you say is the biggest thing you've accomplished this season?
I think this season we've really came together as a brotherhood. This year I felt more unity than I have all other years I've played.
What are some of the things you guys have been doing to kind of encourage that atmosphere of brotherhood and teamwork?
Just kind of building our brotherhood in the weight room from the beginning. Like when somebody's hitting a new max, most of the team will be over there cheering him on, and we just bring everybody to get in together.
Nice. So you guys are only the third boys team in the history of the school to even compete for a state championship. So what does that kind of mean to you guys to kind of be a part of that history of the school?
I can take that one, I guess. Well, it means a lot to us because our community, last year they weren't really behind us. Going 0-10, we're all down on ourselves, and then coming right back the next season, and we're in the state championship now. It's meant a lot to us because we've put in the work. We've done everything right to get to this point. So it goes to show what our culture is about and our program's about.
Yeah, it's really nice too when I'm going around anywhere and everybody's asking me about how football's going, and they're congratulating us and telling us what good work we're doing, and it just makes it all worth it seeing everybody in the community backing us up. So,
how does it feel to kind of be representing this school on that stage? Just kind of, you guys are I said you were the first, you were the third boys team to do it, but you're the first football team to ever do it. So kind of how does it feel to do that and to do it with North Sanpete on your jerseys, and just what does this school mean to you, I guess, is what I'm trying to get across.
One of the things that was mentioned when we were watching film the other day, Coach Peck's been around for a long time, and when he was at Bingham, they had kind of a drought. It was 64 years before they had taken a state up at Bingham. And one of the things that he mentioned to the team was the word taboo, T-A-B-U, which means to all before us. And that's kind of the mentality that I picture when we talk about the state championship, that there's been a lot of teams before us that have been really close. There's been a lot of teams that haven't even been close. And it might have been some of these guys' dads and cousins and uncles that we're a part of all those teams. And so our mentality going into this game isn't just about us, but it's that taboo mentality to all before us is who we're going to be playing for this Saturday.
So, guys, tell me about your coaches. What has Coach Bird and some of the other coaches that have been teaching you guys and training you guys? What have they done to kind of help you get to the level that you're at now?
Watch what you say.
I can answer this one. Well, after coming off of a 0-10 season, we kind of went down to the basics, just on how to hold the ball and just the little things, because it's the little details that's gonna get us there. And he taught us discipline, stuff like that. If you jump off sides, you got up, down, and stuff like that. But they've taught us a lot, not just with football, but with life and stuff like that. And it's got us to the point where we're at now.
So this is kind of going to be an interesting question, but for you guys, any one of you can answer this. Who is your MVP of the season, both on and off the field? Who would you give that title?
What do you think, Ash? Is it the nightmare?
No, probably not.
I don't know if I can say anybody, because we're all just such a close brotherhood and we all work so hard together, and it's not we don't have any individual standout athletes. Everybody just does their assignment the way they're supposed to, and it all just works out. So to me, I couldn't say that there's any MVPs of the team. Just everybody just grinds so hard. Yeah.
We all give our best effort, and I'd agree with Chance.
So you guys have, you've had a lot of really good wins this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Just keeping teams aside from the Juab game, the most you had allowed, and I think still aside from the Juab game, the most you've allowed is 14 points. So what would you say has been the biggest win this year, at least so far, hopefully?
Biggest one for me was Juan Diego. That was a good win for us. It was kind of a really emotional game for us. We kind of told the story that my cousin, when you come off the exit right there, that's where he was in a car accident a year ago. And so before that game, we told these guys, I had told the guys that football to me means more than just the sport and playing the game. It was, my role model growing up was my cousin Stetson. And I told these guys before the game that story, that when I grew to love football, it was because I saw him out there on the field competing and running for an 80-yard touchdown the first game I had ever watched him. And so it was a really emotional game for us, and to go get that one, it kind of felt like a state championship in my mind. And Coach Peck, even in his mind, he tells the story that it was probably one of the most emotional games that he's ever been a part of. And a lot of it had to do with where we were at, the team we were playing, and not only that, but it was their homecoming, so it made it that much better. I don't know about these guys, though, what their favorite game was of the season.
Yeah, Manti especially. Yeah.
I'd say Juan Diego.
What do you think you did well in that Manti game?
Just came out as fast as we could and just ran the score up really quick. Just I don't know, kind of just put them away right off the start so they couldn't come back. I don't know. I think everybody was really fired up to play that game, especially after last year when they came and stormed our court in basketball. It kind of pissed us all off, so everybody was ready for that game.
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty interesting because my cousin is down. He's from Manti, and they said their head coach was saying the first 1 to 21 will win that game because our defense, we hadn't let up 14 points. And when we got to 21 in that first quarter, their head coaches said that's it.
Game over, first quarter.
So that game specifically, our football team hadn't beaten Manti in near 20 years. So obviously there was a stretch where we didn't play them, but still, how did that feel? That rivalry game that hadn't been won in years. So how did that one feel? Just a little bit sweeter than the rest of them?
Yeah, it felt pretty good, especially because a lot of kids over there run their mouths. So.
All right, so Summit Academy was unfortunately one of the games you dropped this year. What are you doing to kind of prepare for them, and what do you think is the toughest thing going into this state final?
You can answer that one, Peter.
don't think we really need to prepare for much. Last time we shut them down till the fourth quarter. We just had 2 like miscommunications on defense, but they're still a really good team. They have more of a run threat than Morgan did, so we're kind of preparing for that. But they're a good team, and we just have to play sound football as a team.
We told them offensively too. Anytime we always look at the stats, and one of the first things that we look at from an offensive standpoint is the time of possession. Last time when we played Summit Academy, and we told these guys this yesterday, the time of possession, we had the ball for 33 minutes of the game, which says a lot. Sometimes the best defense is your offense. If you can keep the offense on the field and keep their offense off, then it's going to be tough for them to put points on the board. So part of our game plan is obviously running the ball. It's what we've been doing all year. But we got to make sure that we end the possession with some sort of score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. Last time we played them, we had the ball down in the red zone 3 or 4 times and didn't walk away with any points. So I know a lot of people, and I've seen interviews and stuff where people have said North Sanpete's going to struggle to score the ball against these guys. I don't think we will. I think, to be honest with you, I think this is going to be our breakout game. It's going to be the best game that we've ever played offensively, because that's our mindset with running the ball.
So obviously football games in general, and especially state football games, can be pretty tense. So how have you guys been able, just in general throughout the season and in the state playoff, how have you been able to kind of stay loose while also being kind of on your toes?
We've just kind of kept the same mentality the whole season. Like, it's just another game. We can't overlook this, or we can't like go in this like without our heads. We just got to play like we always play.
Right. So since you guys went 0-10 last year, obviously for a number of different reasons, but what adjustments were made kind of specifically between last season and this season that really helped you kind of make that that big leap? Because on Deseret News, on some of their articles, they had you guys as some of the most improved teams in the state. So what adjustments were made to get you to this point?
I'd say attitude. Our attitude has really changed. It was either do or die after that season, and we just told ourselves that wasn't going to happen again.
Another big part of it would be like turnovers. Last year we turned over the ball quite a few times a game, and this year we've really cracked down on that. Well, Coach Bird has really cracked down on that with me, and so we've been able to take care of the ball a lot better than we did last year, and that was a big part.
And I think a lot of it is a lot of kids care about each other and how well we do, because there was a point last year where we've lost so far in the season. We lost every game that kids started to just give up. They wouldn't care because they just thought, we're not going to win a game, so why try anymore? Where us, we've been the grinding mentality. We've been the digging deep, the fight back, the type of attitude.
I like to think of football too like life. When you have good values and something that you believe on, it's easy to, when things are going bad, to go back on those values and beliefs and say, this is who I am, this is what I believe in. And it's easy to kind of start over when you feel like your things are going wrong. One thing that that we added this year were the code of ethics, kind of our values and beliefs as a football team. And I think throughout the year when things are starting to go bad, and I've heard it in the classroom. We were in the classroom the other day, and someone said something, and one of the code of ethics came up in the classroom, and he said like no regrets or something like that. And just the small, and you don't really think about it, but having those values and beliefs to rely on and go back to, I think it says a lot about how we've been able to rebound and come back from like the Juap game. That was a tough loss for us, but we knew we were in a good position to go make a run in the playoffs. And so for us to go back to the basics, to look at our values and beliefs and say, you know what, this isn't the team who we are, and we go back to the very small things, we were able to make this run. I believe, and I mean, we can ask these guys, but I think our code of ethics were a big part of who we are this year.
So, Coach, this is your third season
Third,
as
yeah.
a head coach. How has it meant to you to see kind of this progress over the course of your tenure as the head coach, and what does it mean to kind of be where you are after just your third year?
It's really rewarding for me. These guys know I'm one that, after last season, I think I've watched hours and hours, hundreds of hours of film, and that was kind of my mentality going into this. I'm still going to school full time to finish up my degree. And I told my advisor that I wasn't going to take any classes this fall because I wanted to focus on football and see the outcome. And this was actually, and I've never told these guys this, but it was kind of a tipping point for me in the program. I brought all the coaching staff in and I said, okay, you're either with us 100% or you're not. And all of them bought in and said, we're in this 100%. Last year we had coaches showing up late at practice. We really didn't have a lot of time. Coach Peck only showed up every other day last year. And all of us have just made this commitment to buy in 100% to see if we have the kids to go get it done. And so it was kind of a tipping point for me. Okay, do we have the kids and are they going to buy into what we ask them to do? And it was going to start with the coaching staff. If we all bought in 100% and did everything that we possibly could do and the kids didn't buy into it, then it was going to maybe be a year where I reevaluate and say, okay, what am I going to do with my coaching career? But these guys have proved. We knew they had it in them, and they've proved everyone wrong. They've bought in 100% to what we've asked them to do, and it says a lot about when you buy into something, a culture, the possibilities of after that when buying into what coaches are asking you to do.
Yeah. Well, I think that concludes our interview. We're short on time. Thank you guys.
Thank you.